All right, today we are diving into a story that honestly sounds like it's straight out of a spy movie. We're unpacking a report from Hakikat TV, and it's all about power, betrayal, and a shadow war happening inside China. And look, if these claims are even half true, it could completely change how we think about modern espionage.
Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get right to the core of this thing. The source we're looking at makes this absolutely explosive claim right from the get-go. We're not talking about some simple corruption charge here. Oh no. This is an allegation of high treason leveled against one of the most powerful men in all of China.
So, to really get a handle on just how heavy this allegation is, we first have to understand the man himself and, well, the official story about why he suddenly vanished from the public eye. Now, according to the source, the man at the center of this wasn't just some random bureaucrat. We're talking about the army chief, the guy described as being second in command, right behind the president. And get this, the report says he was a childhood friend of Xi Jinping. So close, in fact, that she personally gave him a service extension to keep him on past retirement. I mean, you really can't get more inner circle than that. And then, just like that, he was gone. After being out of the public view for a while, the government just announces his dismissal. Now, that alone was enough to get people all over the world talking. But the official reason they gave? Well, that was just the tip of the iceberg. And this is where the official story starts to fall apart. According to the source material we're looking at, the whole disciplinary violation thing was just a cover for something much, much bigger happening behind the scenes. The source claims that it was actually the Western media that got a hold of the real story, and the allegations they published, well, they painted a picture of a sinister global plot, not just some simple corruption case. And right here, you can just see the massive gap between the two stories. On one side, you've got the official line, violation of party discipline, which is kind of the go-to phrase for corruption. But on the other side, the allegation is that he was selling China's most sensitive nuclear secrets to the United States. That's a whole different ballgame. The source lays out a list of accusations that are just stunning. Not only was he supposedly a CIA agent selling nuclear secrets, but he was also allegedly planning a full-on rebellion against the state leader. And maybe the most important part, he wasn't doing it alone. He supposedly had a whole network of other high-ranking officials in on it with him. So what's the price for that kind of treason? The report doesn't talk about a few $1,000,000 here and there. Nope. It claims the payout was in the billions, a number that really drives home just how huge this alleged operation was. But all of this just raises a giant question, right? How could something like this possibly happen? How do you pull off a security breach of this size in one of the most heavily monitored, technologically advanced nations on the entire planet? The report seems just as shocked by this possibility. It describes China's internal security system as being, and I'm quoting here, 1,000 times more advanced than what you'd find in the West, which makes a successful penetration at this level seem, well, almost impossible. So the source suggests it wasn't just about flipping one guy. It was a whole strategy. You target the ultimate insider. You offer a truly massive amount of money. And then you use that person to build an entire secret network inside the system. A conspiracy that allegedly went right to the heart of the military command. Okay, but this is a real head-scratcher. Let's say this is all true. If you're the US and you have an agent at the very top of China's military, that's maybe the biggest intelligence win of the century. So why on earth would you ever expose him? Why would you burn your most valuable asset? Well, the theory put forward by the source is pretty wild. It suggests the reveal was the final step of the mission. It was a calculated move designed to send a message, to basically publicly embarrass Beijing and show the entire world that even Xi Jinping's super tight system of control isn't foolproof. Now, what's really interesting is that the source doesn't see this whole alleged spy scandal as an isolated event. No, it's framed as just one skirmish in a much larger, ongoing economic war between global superpowers. The report puts this all in the context of things like US tariffs, but also, and this is key, China's aggressive move to buy up massive amounts of gold. That move, which other countries are starting to copy, is seen as a direct attack on the US dollar's dominance. So this spy scandal, it's seen as just one front in that bigger economic conflict. So what happened in the end? What was the alleged fallout from all this? How did the plot get discovered, and who won this high-stakes game of shadows? According to the report, the first red flag didn't come from some counterintelligence agency. It actually came from China's state-owned National Nuclear Corporation. They apparently noticed sensitive info was going missing and that the army chief was taking a little too much interest in their business. That's what kicked off the whole internal investigation.
The report concludes that, yeah, some secrets definitely got out, but the Chinese authorities moved fast. They apparently managed to uncover and take down the entire alleged spy ring, stopping what could have been a way bigger disaster for their national security.
And this quote from the source really sums up its main point. The report basically uses this alleged incident as a warning, an example of the sheer power of American money and intelligence on the world stage. The logic is, hey, if the number 2 guy in a country like China can be turned, then pretty much anyone is vulnerable.
So, at the end of the day, this explainer of the Hakika TV report lays out a jaw-dropping narrative of modern spy games. And it really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? In this era of economic battles and clandestine operations, how many other major global events are being shaped by forces we can't even see? What other secrets are just hiding in plain sight?